If you've ever felt like you're just throwing money at Facebook ads and hoping for the best, or worse, you've hired an agency or an ads manager who just sends you random reports with no real insights, you're not alone, unfortunately. But the truth is this: Facebook ads are not magic. And there's a system, there's a process, there's a level of transparency that most agencies, they're not willing to give you, or they just won't. So today, I'm going to pull back the curtains. I'm going to show you what actually works so that you can finally get the ROI that you deserve. And that's totally possible. So stay tuned. We're going to get into that right now. All right. So first, we're going to talk about the problem with most Facebook ads agencies. A lot of clients come to me and they talk about how their past experiences, they didn't work. And so what they need from me is to figure out, what is it that didn't work? Why was this not working? And can it actually work? A lot of times ad agencies and media buyers, they run their ads like this. They copy what worked for someone else, and then they throw up a few campaigns and they'll let that run, and they might disappear for a month. And they might send a report here and there, but there's no like deep strategy. There's no communication. There's no partnership where they say, okay, this is working, so we're going to do more of this, or this isn't working. This is the KPI that we're shooting for, and here's how we're going to get there, because we're not there right now. And so X, Y, and Z are our next steps in order to hit that. It's interesting. They sort of onboard you, they get campaigns live, they'll throw you some numbers and they disappear. Maybe you're getting a report from them, but the numbers are confusing. Maybe you don't even get a report. It's very interesting. Either way, the frustrating part is that you're left wondering what's working, what's not working, what's the plan, what are they going to do about this? How do we get this? How do we turn this ship around? And when we're talking about turning ships around, if you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads a month, you're sort of like turning around a freight liner, at least like a decent sized ship, right? It's not like where we're only spending $1,000 a month and it's sort of more driving like a Sea-Doo, where you can pivot on a dime pretty quickly. There's different levels of pivoting based on your budget. So a common issue with ad agencies is that they treat you like a one-size-fits-all. There's zero deep strategy here. There's no personalization. There's no personal projections and possibilities outlined for you of what happens or what's possible. That didn't work out so well. So I have specific KPI spreadsheets that as we're onboarding a client, we talk about, sometimes even before we get started with a client, because we want to understand what's possible before they even sign on to a contract with me. But we talk about, what's each level of the funnel, or like, what are you selling on the webinar? What's the payment plan? What does it look like? How are you retaining these people? Because I want to know, if we spend this much and the goal is to get people onto a webinar and then you're selling them into this thing, are they going to pay all their payments? What is a client worth? And then how much return on investment are we looking at if we have standard conversions through the funnel, or if you have data about conversions? I gather all of that information so that we can have very clear KPIs. And it's not a one size fits all. It's very tailored and unique strategies that I deploy for each client. A lot of times these other agencies, they're optimizing for clicks. They want to get people to the landing page and they want to get like cheap leads, cheap clicks, and then say like, well, look, the ads are working, and the clicks don't pay bills. In fact, leads don't pay bills. You have to monetize that. That lead has to be worth something. And so they're not really giving you real numbers. They're not really giving you transparency. They're just giving you vanity metrics that you really can't do anything with. And sometimes that leaves my clients feeling like they're left out of their own marketing strategy. So I'm wondering if that sounds familiar to you. If it does, it's really not your fault. It's because most agencies are not truly invested in your success. They're just running your ads on autopilot. But that's how you actually scale a coaching business, a course, or a consulting brand, or a membership, or a product funnel. That's how you scale that, is by having someone as your partner who is truly invested in your success and comes alongside you with those clear goals, those clear strategies that are unique and custom tailored to you. All right, so now I'm going to shift the focus a little bit and talk about how my approach is different, because here's what actually moves the needle. It's data-driven strategy plus full transparency plus ongoing optimization. It's dynamic. There's not just one single thing here in this formula. But this is the formula that wins every single time. Okay. The data-driven strategy. I could eat data for breakfast. I am so data-driven. The full transparency, number one, that's like transparency is built on like integrity, trust, all of that stuff, and then ongoing optimization. So we're going to break down each of those steps and talk about that right now. All right, so I'm going to break this down for you in a few different steps that talk about how we do this, how we have this data-driven strategy, how we have this full transparency, and how we have the ongoing optimization. So step one, before a single dollar is spent, we do deep audience research. Most agencies, they're going to start with what they think will work. They might have standard audiences that they create. And while we do have that too, we do have standard audiences that we create. We want to dive into your audience, your best clients, your best students, your past data before we ever even launch an ad. This means that you get ads that speak to your ideal buyer because we're finding them in our audience research, we're finding them with our targeting, and then we're finding them with our messaging because we have messaging deep dives and a creative brief that we do during our onboarding to make sure that we are really nailing that messaging because that's super important. We want to make sure that we get ads that actually speak to your ideal customer. Step number 2 is having revenue-based metrics, not vanity metrics. Okay, so click-through rates, they're important. They are a one KPI in a group of KPIs that feed all the way down into the funnel. Reach, it's important, yes. But when we're just talking about like sending a report to a client, I'm not focused on like, well, the click-through rate's good. I don't know what's wrong with your funnel, right? There's a whole all the way through the funnel, like KPIs that we're looking on. So we focus on numbers that really matter. We're talking about cost per sale. We're talking about return on ad spend, and then the total revenue impact as well. Sometimes we even teach our clients about MER, which is the marketing efficiency ratio. And so if we can't really pin down, if there's so many things in your ecosystem, sales coming in from here and sales coming in from here and emails and follow-ups and sales teams and calls and in-person sales and all of that stuff, we look at what is the marketing efficiency ratio. And I don't know any other ad agencies that are doing that. So what are you spending on your overall marketing? And then what is your overall revenue? And that should be somewhere in the range of like X, 3X, X. And then during launch periods, you might be looking at even higher, a 10X marketing efficiency ratio. It's sort of like return on ad spend, but it's return on marketing dollars with total revenue. So we want to look at that. You're not hiring an agency just to get more likes on your Instagram page. You're not hiring an agency just to simply bring in more leads. You're hiring one that's going to make you more money. And so we have to look at that revenue. We have that partnership and that transparency, even in our intake form where I'm saying like, what is your current revenue? What's your revenue goal? And then what would it mean for you to hit that revenue goal, right? What does that mean for you? What does that take you to for your next level? Okay, so the next part is radical transparency and clear reporting. So every week we send reports on Thursdays and you'll know exactly what's working and why. So there's no waiting around for updates. You know, we have this clear communication cadence. You're not waiting around. You are not unsure. When am I going to hear from these people? You're not wondering where your money is going. We have detailed, easy to understand reports that break down your ad performance, and we walk you through it like a true partner. We'll send a Loom video with it, or we customize this to you based on what you want to see, right? Like I have one client and she's like, when you send these to me, it makes my eyes cross. I don't care about anything other than how much did I spend and how much did I make. So we literally only send her those 2 metrics. However, I have other clients that they do want to know like, hey, what's our click-through rate on this overall campaign? And, you know, what's our cost per lead? Okay, what's our conversion rate in this funnel? And so we have all that data that we send to that particular client. So I customize my reporting even to each client. And while, you know, an agency coach might tell me that's not scalable, unfortunately, I'm not looking to scale my business to the moon to the point where like I have gobs of clients and I can't custom tailor this. I don't ever want to lose sight of where I'm at right now, where I can custom tailor this to every single client, where I'm the strategic person on every single account with every single client. So we really do come in like a true partner and customize your experience. I think that's super important. Okay, step number 4 is A/B testing and then that constant optimization. So we don't set and forget your ads. We test everything. We're testing creatives, we're testing messaging, we're testing your audiences so that we can see what's working and then cut what's not. We are sort of known for being able to aggressively scale without breaking things and also knowing when to aggressively cut things that aren't working. A lot of agencies let ads just run for weeks without even checking in, without even looking at their performance. And then they finally get around to it and they're like, oh, I let this one run for $60 cost per acquisition when our goal is 20, but like I forgot about it. I forgot to come in and check. We're not doing that. We're monitoring the ad performance daily to make sure that you're always ahead of the game. I talk with my team. I do have a couple of ads managers with, they're the boots on the ground inside of the account every single day. And so while I'm not doing that tactical work inside of the account, I do have strategic meetings with them every single day in order to make sure that I understand what's going in there, what's coming up, what's next, how are we optimizing this, what strategies can we deploy to make this even better. And so that's daily. And I don't think that there is any better way to do it. I don't think there's any other option for managing ad accounts. I think you do need to have your hands on it daily. That's really important. So why does this work? Here's the thing. When you combine these 4 things, real audience research and deep messaging, right? Revenue-driven tracking, full transparency, and that constant optimization, you get ads that actually convert. You get an agency that partners with you and in the relentless pursuit of making it profitable. And it's not just for a few weeks, but over and over and over again, consistently growing your revenue. And that's been the story for many of our clients, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in and year out. I have clients that have been on my roster for years and their revenue is consistently growing, hitting $1 million in revenue a month. It's just phenomenal to watch. One of our clients is a high ticket coach, and she came to us after working with another agency that was just burning through her budget. It was really, really hard to watch. Within 60 days of working together, we dropped that cost per acquisition by 40%, and we doubled the monthly revenue, all because we applied this process, all of the things that I've just talked about. So it really is proof that these things work. The partnership, the customization, the radical transparency, the optimization, it all works in order to make this successful. So what now? What should you do next? What do you do if you want my help? If you're tired of agencies that are hiding behind crappy reports and leaving you out of the strategy, I really want to change that for you. I want that for you so badly. We work with coaches, we work with consultants, course creators, membership owners, speakers, authors, anybody that has that online business that is serious about scaling. That is the factor of one that we have here, is that you are serious about scaling. I want you to also want a true partner in your success. So if that's you, here's what you should do next. I would like to chat about your current ads and see if we are a fit. You can DM me on Instagram at Jody_Cedini, Jody Cedini, or you can simply head to CediniMarketing.com/DFY ads and fill out the form, grab a spot on my calendar, and we can just have a chat and see like what's working, what's not, how can we do it differently? How can we come in as a partner with you in your business to have the success that you deserve? So here's the deal. At the end of the day, Facebook ads are just a tool. They are just a feeder into the system. And what actually matters is who's behind the strategy. It really matters. You need someone who's not just running your ads. You need someone who's running them with your success as the top priority. That's the difference. And if that's what you've been looking for, let's make it happen. Listen, I'd love for you to like and subscribe and share if you have found this content helpful, or if maybe you're not quite at the spot where you need help with this, but you know somebody who is, make sure you share this episode with them. So thank you so much for listening to another episode of the $1 Million Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Jody Cedini, and I will see you here next time.